Okay. So we are
Try it
getting
now.
All right, can you hear me now?
You are going through.
Okay, I was just wanting to make a quick announcement for Onyx Path. The next Kickstarter campaign for They Came from the RPG anthology will be starting soon. If you want to be notified on launch, here is the link. With that said, let's go ahead and jump back into it. Today is Wednesday, August 25th, 2021. What have you been doing over the last few days? Who wants to get us started?
I can.
All right.
So, day one, I went and held a meeting with all of the Grimalkins. I wanted to reintroduce myself now that I have my new title as Saint of Cats, and I also wanted to check in on Moggins. The Grimalkins were super welcoming, but Moggins was nowhere to be found in the Lost Vegas freehold. And the Grimalkins don't appear to know where he is. Day two, I went and trained in another language, and I had a pretty good grasp of how to speak Grimalkin based on how much time I've spent with them. So I went ahead and bought language Grimalkin on that day. For my third downtime, I went to. So sometimes the easiest way to get through a knot is just to cut it. And this big task that no one wanted to do in the Winter Court was to ask Madam Anybody what she's doing with Royal Flush. And it turns out Kenzie just decided to ask her straight up, hey, what are you doing? And after a few moments of silence and some intense chain smoking, she shrugged and stated that that what with the treaty there isn't a point in hiding anymore, but she's been dating Jack since before Royal Flush was founded. So, big long drama avoided. I don't have to play hide and seek anymore with Madam Anybody, although I probably will. But we were all pretty sure that's what was up anyway. And then on my fourth downtime, I went down to sit with the cats and learn their stories and about how the title came to be. And most of the Grimalkins were strays before Moggins took them in. Others mentioned long stays in shelters or being in rescues. But when I ask about the Saint of Cats title, I get about half a dozen conflicting stories that they all heard from a friend of a friend's grandmother or some other cat in a shelter somewhere. So we still don't really know where that came from.
Alrighty, who wants to go next?
All right. So for me, on the first day, I spoke to Jack, seeing how much he knew about huntsmen and the like, and didn't get too much information. Basically, he knows that the true Fae make them, and they're made out of creatures from Arcadia. Then on the second day, I got a bit more information from Delilah regarding my great grandson. Yeah, Rupert. Get an idea of like what his routines are and what his personality is. Then on day 3, spoke to some of the Autumn Court members just to see if I could get some information regarding the Mirror Folk. So we got a little bit more information on that so we can start rectifying things. Then from there, I got some stakes cut up and ready to go to auction.
Nice.
All right. Well, I believe that leaves me. The first thing is, last week we were hunting around for the next clue I could get on the cult that has a piece of Oliver Oakhart. And apparently they'd taken over a workshop and turned it into a church. Somebody who was from that workshop mentioned there was a secret way in, so I decided to go look for that secret way in. And I found it. It's in a cave nearby. I know how to get in there. We're set up for when we want to go take a look inside the place. I decided to go look into my fetch, the person who's pretending to be the real McCoy. Following up on the leads I have, he'd been discovered by a famous influencer partying on the town with the vice president of Emerald City Casino, a big ol' important person at Cotton Entertainment, apparently. After a brief stint as a personal mixologist, Elliot went into business as a consultant and freelancer for glitzy bars all over Vegas. He's been hired to run the bar at parties run by the rich and famous, and even starting a very expensive online course on the science of mixology. And he's gotten a bit of social media stardom, too. So, that's great. I can't wait to take it from him. Let's see. I've been asked to get myself a large amount of money, and I decided to look into some people that might have it. Looked into some high rollers that are moving through Vegas, found some particular people that might be worthwhile targets, and then looked into a way to steal people's appearances. And I've got a couple of options, but it looks like there might be a very good contract for this that I'm going to have to look into getting my hands on. And that's that.
Alrighty. So let's go ahead and jump into it. Today is Wednesday, August 25th, 2021. It's getting late in the evening. Where are you and what are you doing?
Well, I reckon that Kit is once again in the Warren as usual, getting putting in the last few touches to get those stakes up for auction, if I can speak.
Hydrate, Dibs.
Yep.
All right. Were you saying you needed to stop in with Will Kenzie, or am I misremembering?
I do need to stop in with Will and let him know the outcome of the interaction with Madam Anybody.
Well, is that happening at court, or would that be happening at Winter headquarters?
Probably court, right?
I mean, fair enough either way. I just need to know if I'm there mixing drinks and waiting for you, or if I'm going to go find somewhere else to be.
So are you guys going to be together or are you going to be handling these errands separately?
We're going to gather up next for the next bit. This is just something that Lex has to do themselves.
All right, so after that, Kit wanted to go to the Thorn Carnival?
Yep. We've got some stuff to unload.
Alrighty. So, Kenzie, you wanted to get in touch with Will, and you said you figured that you'd be able to meet him at the Lost Vegas Freeholds.
Yep.
Alrighty. In the sub-basement of the Four Seasons, The room that's used for holding court is currently not being used for that, but there's a decent amount of changelings handling various business there, and a brisk trade at the bar. While he isn't there initially, putting out some feelers results in one of the winter knights going to grab Will, who motions you over to a table in the corner far away from any prying ears. He leans in close, his marble face beaming with excitement. So, what did you find?
Well, I'm sure this is going to be a real shock to you, but Madam Anybody and Jack are bagging.
The look of amusement leaves Will's face immediately. He strokes his chin. I did hear that they had some sort of relationship going before Jack left the freehold, but I figured that she was smart enough to actually cut it off. She said she did. This complicates things. He shakes his head. That puts her loyalties in doubt. We've only just recently managed to get a peace treaty together with Royal Flush. How do we know that she can be trusted as a spring noble, especially one gunning for the crown?
Maybe we don't. Maybe a noble is all she'll ever be. But it doesn't seem like she's been too gung-ho for the crown before now.
He snorted. I'm sure that you aren't up on the information, but the Spring Nobles have been voting for the new Spring Monarch ever since King Knox was kidnapped. And they've been doing it weekly. And the reason we don't have one is that all four of them are voting for themselves. She wants it just as bad as anyone else. But he smiles briefly again. You did have a point. She doesn't have to become Spring Queen. We could stop it.
We could back another candidate.
That's one way. Or we could make it a little more permanent. You were interested in becoming a Winter Knight, correct? I can appoint you directly if you can make sure Madam Anybody is out of the running permanently.
Sorry, my swearing under my breath is completely out of character, not in character. Let me think on it. Let me think in how I can do this. We do have a peace treaty.
Will, all playfulness leaves Will's face. Mackenzie, he says, I believe in you. Since you got here, you've shown an ability to do the right thing like no one else. You understand the Winter Court. You understand me. I know you will do what needs to be done for the good of the Freehold.
Thank you for your faith in me, boss.
He winks briefly before getting up. Now, I've got other business to attend to. Let me know if you have any status updates.
Oh, just one. I have a title now. An entitlement, not a title. Not like a thing, but a thing. Just a little thing, not a big thing.
If you're talking about an actual out and out title, an entitlement, those types of noble titles carry a little more weight. You should be careful who you talk to, but soon enough, everyone's going to be able to see it.
Just thought you ought to know.
Well, congrats. And maybe we can get you another type of noble title to go alongside it. And with that, Will walks away and leaves, gathering his entourage and heading so God knows where.
So I head up to meet Elliot.
Alrighty, Elliot, what do you do?
Meeting go well?
No, nope, not at all. Very unwell.
Well, hopefully the rest of tonight will go better. I've just been mixing drinks for people at the bar. So, shall we get going?
Yep, let's head on over to the carnival.
All right.
I text Kit to let him know we're headed in.
Alrighty. I'll start getting things packed up, so it's ready by the time they get there.
Alrighty. Considering you're going to a well-known place and a well-worn trod, I'm not going to have you roll hedge navigation. That would be a waste of your time.
We also don't know where the physical front door is.
Which also helps. So, not too much longer later, you two arrive at the Thorn Carnival to look for Kit. The Goblin Market is as busy as it ever is, with hordes of hobgoblins, changelings, and other stranger creatures looking through all the wares and availing themselves of the games and rides.
All right. So, did you need to meet with anybody, or do we just go set up somewhere?
What did the contract that I signed say the protocol for this is?
Alrighty. After having filled in all the paperwork, you need to give it to the ruler of the carnival, the carnival barker. Would you guys also like to fill Kit in with what's going on?
Yeah, so Will thinks that Madame Anybody needs to die, or somebody else needs to be produced as king, whatever, taking them out of the running, because he doesn't trust her because she's fucking Jack.
Okay.
So,
I believe the exact wording was we need to take her permanently out of the running for Spring Monarch.
I feel a reasonable interpretation is produce a secondary monarch. So, shall we go get the Viscount elected?
Yeah.
Because I get the feeling that Will is going to do the job himself if we don't.
We should discuss this in a private setting.
Yeah.
Yeah, the common sense merit tells you that maybe a crowded carnival full of hobgoblins and worse isn't the best place to discuss court intrigue.
Fair enough.
Unfortunately, I have I have to turn in some paperwork to an individual that I have a feeling is going to be intimidating.
Well, let's go then. No sense on doing it alone.
Yeah, let's knock this out real quick. So I head to whatever the equivalent to an office is for the Goblin Market.
So, after making a couple inquiries here and there, you are pointed towards the big top at the center of the carnival. This is a tent larger than any you've ever seen, and possibly the only multi-floor tent you've ever seen.
Okay, that's kind of cool.
It's a classic red and white circus tent, much taller than it has any business to be. When you head inside, you are faced with a relatively new sight. A handful of people here and there within the tent that appear to be doing the basic work that keep the carnival going. You see them carrying around bits of wood to build stalls. You see them hauling cages with dangerous looking hobgoblins in it. You see them scurrying up and down ladders to the next floor above and the floor above that one. The only thing that really unites these people is that they're all wearing the same uniform. Otherwise, they're incredibly different. Changelings, hobgoblins, and you would swear even the odd mortal human. The uniform consists of a very basic red suit jacket with bow tie, and a white pair of trousers, a straw boater hat, and a blank, expressionless white mask. The only thing you can see is the eye holes, which glow a faint green. If you peer deeply into the light, you can just make out the pupils of whoever was wearing it. Looking around, you aren't exactly sure where the carnival barker would be. A reasonable guess is that he's likely on the top floor. As you walk into the tent, the occasional carny stops and turns to look at you. They're silent and they don't say anything.
When they do, I'll when they stop and look at me, I'll just kind of hold up the paperwork for a moment and keep walking, like basically indicating I'm just turning this in.
When Kit shows his paperwork, one of the carnies steps forward and points upwards. The barker is on the top floor. The third ring.
Alrighty.
Guess we go looking for stairs then.
Yep.
You immediately notice that there aren't any. They're simply ladders leading up to what appears to be a fairly solid-looking wooden platform. It's as though this circus was retrofitted into something like a hybrid of an office building and a circus tent. The ladders, though, serve their purposes.
Well, I guess so. I cautiously double check the ladders from the floor before starting to climb up.
The ladders seem fairly solidly fixed. You do notice that they're on wheels, so they can be moved along to any part of the platform that you wish. The second floor of the building seems to be dedicated to administration. You can see dozens more carnies using makeshift desks made of crates in order to handle various affairs. You see them counting up various poker chips and cataloging various tokens. The third floor, there's only one thing there, and that is a small trailer, much smaller than anything else you've seen in the circus, under a spotlight.
So
there is a star on the door.
So I'm going to stop just outside of the spotlight and call out and ask for permission to proceed.
Calling out to the trailer, you can all hear a faint noise from inside. The door opens, and you can see long, slender fingers in white gloves. A figure pushes its way out of the trailer, much too tall, you think, to actually fit inside of it. He exits one arm at a time before putting his hands on either side and pulling his legs out. They're much longer than they have any reason to be, and you can see that as he's crawling out, that in this posture, they easily go up past his shin. The figure eventually stands up, brushes off his red coat, and doffs a white top hat to match his white trousers. He looks down at you. He has to be at least 10 feet tall, if anything. He's wearing a very similar white mask, but instead of simple eye holes, there's also a smile carved into it. He takes out a gold pocket watch and looks at it before putting it back into his pocket. "Ah, yes," he says, "just on time. I believe you have your paperwork for me, Mr. Cotton?"
Yes, sir, I do. I step forward a little bit and hand him the paperwork.
And are these two your establishment fee?
No, sir.
Then we might have a slight problem. We do charge, of course, fees to make use of the market as a vendor.
Deal?
If you aren't willing to pay up front, then I'm going to need to require 10% of your proceeds.
Okay. Well, I have an idea for you. So I plan on selling 10 of my steaks. Have you had a chance to be brought up to speed on what my product is?
I'm afraid that I am far too busy to read every application that passes over the desks.
Fair enough. Long story short, if a goblin were to eat one of these steaks, they'd be able to stay out in the human world for 24 hours without issue.
The eyes behind the mask flash green. He puts his hands over his mask, and when he takes them away, the smile has grown even broader, which seems strange considering it's carved in what is otherwise a white, featureless mask. Oh, that sounds exceedingly useful. In that case, I do not wish for 10% of your proceeds. I wish for 10% of your wares.
My wares?
Yes, I wish.
Wares. Okay. Sorry, I misheard you for a moment. My apologies. That's what I was going to do is I do not want to flood the market with this. I think that would cause problems for both of us. I'm going to sell 10 a week and bring an 11th for you to do with whatever you wish.
His eyes flash green. That is acceptable. He he squats down so he can look at you eye to eye. And you notice as you look into the carnival barker's eyes that there's nothing but the green light behind his mask. You can see it coming from the mouth as well. So then, Mr. Cotton, I believe we have a deal. Do you wish to shake on it?
If you're able to bring a written agreement to my Warren via messenger, I will read over it and agree to it in writing.
Quite canny of you. In that case, I accept, but your stall cannot come up until the signature is given and my wares have been received.
Okay. I'm willing to agree to a temporary agreement where tonight I will sell 9 of the steaks and give you the 10th one. And we can have this arrangement until a more formalized written agreement is agreed upon by both of us.
A one-time fee for a one-time use.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
The barker appears to consider it. He puts his hand over his mouth and withdraws it. The mouth of the mask is changed again into a grin so round and circular that it almost cuts the chin of the mask right off. He extends one of his hands, the fingers far, far too long. I'm willing to shake on it if you are, Mr. Cotton.
Okay. Now, before I shake on this, I would like, in plain terms, what you understand the conditions of this bargain to be.
For tonight, of the 10 wares you intend to auction off, 1 will be given to me, gratis, as payment.
All right.
And we will thus be allowed to auction off the rest under our own conditions.
Yes.
Okay. Am I allowed to tell people that you're so interested in this? It'd be good marketing.
I do not care what you do or what you say after you have left the big top.
All right.
Just so long as you otherwise abide by the rules of the carnival, which I'm sure you are aware of by now.
Of course. All right. I believe I believe we have an arrangement then. And I'll shake his hands.
As you shake the carnival barker's hand, you hear a blast of discordant calliope music that appears to come from nowhere. His eyes flash an intense green. And then, all of a sudden, the music's gone and the light is back to normal. He extends back to his full height. Thank you very much, Mr. Cotton. I hope that you will enjoy your time as a merchant with the Thorn Carnival. And should you ever wish to sell either of your two fine companions, know that there's always room for more carnies in the big top.
Unfortunately, I do not have that kind of authority.
I appreciate your interest at this time.
Then it is my loss.
But it is also your game. And Kip reaches into the satchel that he's carrying and pulls up the nicest of the steaks and hands it out. It's like wrapped up in like butcher paper and stuff like that. And holds it out and says, "Pick of the litter for the top dog."
The carnival barker snatches at the steak, ripping it from your hands as though he's afraid you'll change your mind. He holds it up to his mask, and you can hear what sounds like the snuffling of a large pig. But there's no hole for a nose or a nose built into this mask. From the hole where the mouth is cut into it emerges a long black tongue, something like a lizard's, which wraps around the steak and pulls it through the hole in the mask, quick as a flash. You hear no chewing, simply the gulp of something swallowing. The barker returns to his full height, nods and says, "Thank you again, Mr. Cotton. I have business to attend to, thanks to your wonderful wares."
As we walk away, I tug on Kit's sleeve and say, maybe we don't say that the carnival barker was very interested in these.
Yeah, as we're walking, this is as we're like away from the barker, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm not going to be saying anything, and I'm going to be sending a revision to the written agreement, stating that he is not going to be going after anybody within the boundaries of the mortal side of Las Vegas.
Harming changelings within that area?
Changelings are people.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah.
We'll talk about it.
As you walk away discussing this, every carny you pass stops to observe. You see a dull flash of the green light behind their mask before they get back to work. None of them says anything.
Yeah, of course. Of course he's listening.
Why wouldn't he be? This is his house.
Yeah.
Probably the walls are listening.
Well, I mean, honestly, I have nothing to hide, so he just knows that I plan on doing a little bit of CYA, which is standard practice when it comes to any kind of business
Let's stop
arrangements.
talking and get to work.
Yep. All right. So we so we head down and pick a good spot.
You notice that as you start looking around, you notice that a handful of the carnies have detached to follow you, carrying a few boards, nails, and a hammer.
As they're following us, I'll turn around and address one of them. And this is included in the fees, correct?
Standard service, croaks the carny.
Okay, so I've already paid for it.
All right. Well, let's go find a place to set up an auction platform.
Yep.
So, Kenzie.
Yes.
I'm good at keeping a crowd once I've got one. I'm a very entertaining figure, but I don't know anybody who's louder than you.
I would like to revise that. You don't know anyone who is louder nor more dexterous than I am.
Oh. Go on.
Have you ever seen someone on the side of the road flipping signs? They're kind of hard to miss when they do it all stylistically.
Yes, I'm familiar.
Kenzie's gonna get it. Kenzie's gonna be a sign spinner. She's gonna be a loud sign spinner.
All right, so once we get the platform set up, I guess we're going to start drawing in a crowd, letting people know what's for sale and get things moving. Oh my god, this is the worst idea we've ever had. I'm so excited.
Yeah, this is gonna be fun.
You are going to be hearing about this for weeks.
Yep.
Finding yourself a nice vacant position closer to the heart of the carnival, the carnies immediately begin work as soon as you tell them that this is the place. They work in perfect synchronization with no communication between them needed. Whenever one of them needs a new board, a tool, anything like that, it's handed over immediately without the need to ask. The construction goes far smoother than you could have ever guessed. And within an hour, a auction platform is immediately erected. As you guys are putting the finishing touches, one of the other carnies croaks in a sepulchral voice like the grave. For true luxuries, you could also use the auction house of pride.
Would you consider these, then?
They are nice, but perhaps that is not the best place for them.
I will keep that in mind.
I need to learn more about this before I start going into that side of it. Alrighty. So Kinsey, you want to start scaring up a crowd for me?
So Kenzie stands in the middle of the nearest intersection of walkways and just yells, "Win yourself a day in the real world. 24 hours to walk where you please."
Okay.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead and finish, because what I'm going to ask you to roll is very much going to depend on what you say.
And she starts to flip around her signboard that is a giant arrow pointing all of these goblins and fine people right towards our brand new auction spot.
Once a week only. Hey, Exclusive product for exclusive clientele. Win the bet and find yourself a way to Viva Las Vegas.
Okay. So, Kenzie, that'll be a dexterity plus expression roll.
Would you like assistance with that?
Would I be, yes. Would I be able to argue a dexterity plus persuasion roll?
Considering what this is, I would say if you don't want to use expression, then streetwise or socialize would work.
Perfect. Let's do streetwise. Actually, let's do socialize.
Okay. And I have to help with the same roll, so that's Dex plus Streetwise, you said?
Socialize.
Dex plus Socialize. Alright, 5. And there we go. God bless being spring. Enjoy your 4 extra dice.
Hooray! 4 dice bonus.
Thank God for that bonus, I guess.
Nice.
Well, as we say here, one success is a success. So, word starts to travel. You can hear various hobgoblins talking to themselves, amongst themselves. They say 24 hours in the mortal world, 24 hours among the humans. Visit Las Vegas. See Elvish Church.
You can even ride the mechanical bulls.
A small crowd of hobgoblins starts gathering. As with any two hobgoblins, most of them are nothing like the other. Some bird-like, some animal-like, some looking like a hodgepodge of various parts put together, some looking like trees or water or living shadows. The crowd is beginning to form.
Alrighty. So I take the stage. All right. Sorry, go ahead.
As soon as Kit takes the stage, one of the hobgoblins in the front row yells up to him, "Is this for real?"
I pull out one of the wrapped steaks. I have 9 of these to auction off. If I'm lying, I'm dying.
"You definitely are," growls what appears to be a giant troll, about 12 feet tall, wearing a top hat and carrying a club.
We have reviewed this merchandise with the carnival staff themselves. They do not allow us to sell falsehoods here. This is the merchandise that we have to sell. There are only 9 available, and we will not be back for a whole week. So only those who purchase today will be able to go. And who knows? By next week, who knows how many people have heard of the many adventures those who selected to bid today will have gone on. So this might be your best chance to get in. Let's start the bidding.
Hold on now. Before
Okay.
we start. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, okay, Kit, I do want to ask, are you going to be auctioning off these off individually or as a lot?
Individually.
Okay.
Now, I do appreciate my friends here enthusiasm to get the show rolling. Before we do, though, I do have some stipulations regarding this auction.
I pull out a sign that has these written in large print made earlier during the construction of this area.
Okay. Stipulation number 1: no proxies. If you are bidding on this, is because you want to bid on it. No one else. You can't purchase this under the guidance of someone else. Number 2: if you're trading, if your bid is accepted with,
This
and
is for
it is
personal use. No products are purchased for the sole purpose of trade. If you're buying today, we want you to use it.
so well, okay. I'm sorry. Any items used to buy one of the stakes cannot be purchased or obtained for the purpose of trading. If you're I'm sorry, guys. Any favors through this that are accepted for a stake are non-transferable. If you say you are going to do it, you are going to do it. No underlings, no trading off that favor to someone else. You do it. No, none of the items that are used for trade here can be gifts or anything like that. If you're using it in this auction, you earned it. And lastly, by staying here right now, you are implying that you agree to these terms, and any failure to follow this agreement will be considered a breach of an agreement. All right.
Alrighty. So I think the best way to handle this would be with an extended roll. So the success of the extended roll will basically mean that you've made enough that I will give you permission to buy that last dot of Fey resources. Any successes above and beyond, we'll talk about what that translates to, but you can consider that a bonus in terms of chips, favors, tokens, etc.
So, how many rolls do we got?
So, bear with me just a sec, doing a little math. All right. So each roll is going to be 10 minutes, and you have an hour for this auction, so 6 times. Minimums successes to pass and thus sell enough to get that 5th dot will be 20. Every 5 successes above that, consider that a bonus.
All right.
And considering what you're doing here, I believe that the best, I believe this would be a manipulation / streetwise roll.
And
Okay.
can Jeff and I assist?
Yeah, and if you can pitch me something else, as always, be my guest.
Well, part of what's going to be getting people in for his successes here is going to be drawing in more of a crowd. Would you accept a presence plus expression, doing a bit of a show to try and draw more people in for the bid?
I mean, as an assisting role, be my guest, but you all got to make the same roll.
Ah, okay.
As always.
Gotcha.
Hmm. Let me see here. Let me see if I can.
Actually, wait. You're not. You are running the auction. You're doing the auctioneer bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, may I pitch a different stat for that one? Composure. This dude's dealing with the worst heckling audience ever and trying to keep control of a rowdy crowd and get the bidding to keep going up.
Makes sense to me. So composure plus streetwise?
Yeah. That sounds good. Are you guys?
Give me 4 seconds to get your dice on you.
Thank you.
4 extra dice.
Okay. Okay. Kinsey, are you gonna be? Okay. Cool.
All right. For the sake of expediency, you guys don't have to roll for assistance every time Kit rolls. We can just take that total of 5 and let it roll.
Yep.
I'm happy to do that.
Works for me.
4 successes.
All right, 4.
All right. So Kit is taking note of the various items being shouted out and amounts of chips being shouted out and keeping up with the crowd, and while doing the auction speech, he's also like egging people on to keep going here.
Alrighty. 6.
Okay. 7.
7.
So that's 3 rolls, my dude.
All right.
You got any willpower kicking around?
I do.
I
Give me
might
just a sec.
suggest re-rolling that one.
Okay.
All right, if you want to re-roll, roll 3, be my guess.
Yeah, I'm just gonna do the last one there. 3 successes. So that's
That's got us at
9.
9 successes. All right. Come on. 5 successes.
14.
All right. How many is that now?
We are 14. We need 6 more over 2 rolls.
Okay. I'm gonna re-roll that.
All right, 1 willpower, please.
Yep. 3 more successes.
All right.
17.
Just
And I
match
believe-
that.
3 successes.
And that's 20 on the dot. So that will mean that you'll have made enough that justify that 5th dot of Fey resources. So
Nice.
the crowd is hyped up, but you can clearly see reservation. Some people, some of the hobgoblins hesitate halfway through raising their hand to bid and put it back down. Still, the promises you've made are enough to get many of the hobgoblins excited, enough to pitch whatever they can think of at you. Favors, chips, random trinkets and oddments and goblin fruits. By the time you've sold all 9 steaks, you've made a tidy sum, enough to expand your ranch quite a lot.
All right. Yeah. So I get all the IOUs and items and all and chips and all that stuff. And after an hour of jumping around and pointing and talking basically incessantly, I sit down on the edge of the stage and take a deep breath.
Well done.
The crowd disperses. Here and there, you can see a couple of the lucky hobgoblins wolfing their stakes down and immediately running for the nearest hedge gate.
Don't forget your glamours.
Oh, this should be interesting.
Oh yeah,
I just want
there's
you to remember
there's a reason.
this was your idea.
There's a reason why I'm only doing 10 a week.
Should be fun enough with 10.
All right, and Kit, I would like you to make a chance roll, please.
Success.
Alrighty. So, the auction is over. Eventually, the crowd disperses. So, your task at the carnival accomplished. What else did you want to do while the night is young?
Well, I believe we had a sphinx to go visit.
We do indeed. On a recent journey, I came across a sphinx along with Bob, who had a riddle for me.
And you meditated on the riddle, and I believe you said you had a solution.
We do indeed.
Well, let's be off then. And after that, we can go take care of the weird cult thing that I had. And if there's time left, I believe you had one more meeting to get to tonight, Tibbs. Sorry, Kit.
Yeah. That's going to be a fun one.
Tonight's been a busy night.
Lots and lots of paperwork. Well, I suppose we best get going. I guess that one's out in the hedge, so we're probably going to have to navigate our way there.
Alrighty. So, let's go ahead and do some basic hedge navigation. You know where you're going, so 5 successes will be enough for this chase.
Okay. Sorry, go ahead.
I believe you know the way, Kenzie, so lead on.
All right, make your hedge navigation roll.
Okay, I'd like to pitch dexterity plus investigation.
Sure.
Four successes.
All right. And the hedge rolls 3. You have outrolled them. Make your second roll.
Damn.
Okay. That is absolutely a success. You get there to the trod where the Sphinx was hiding. Lickety split. As the group of you emerge from the glass thorns, the Sphinx looks up and then immediately looks down, vaguely dejected. Oh, it was you again.
I have an answer to your riddle.
The Sphinx starts to look a little more upbeat. Oh, I thought you'd never get it. So, let's give it a shot. During the spring, I am clad like a king, and in summer wear verdant dress. But cruel autumn batters my garments to tatters, until winter leaves me with naught to impress. What am I?
You're a tree.
The Sphinx lets out a sigh and says, all right. It moves away from the path and points you to the cave it had been hiding. Be careful in there, she says. You can go in, but I just made a nest here. I've only moved in last week.
It was a very good riddle. I'll be careful.
Well, next time you come back here, I'm going to have a much better riddle. And if you can't answer it, I'm going to eat you this time, okay?
Sounds good.
Got a deal.
So I guess we go inside.
The Sphinx was hiding a small cave in a hillside. You can see that this place has been used very recently as a nest for the large hobgoblin. It's brought in straw, dried grass, branches, etc. And you can see some fairly new-looking bones scattered here and there. But what makes this cave somewhat more interesting is that there is the remains of furnishings here that definitely look like they haven't been used by the Sphinx except maybe to bash them down and pull them apart. For nest bits. There is a bookcase that's been over on its side. It is fastidiously empty, except for one heavily damaged tome laying under it, several pages scattered, and the book itself ripped directly in half along the spine. There's also what looks to be a small cabinet in the far corner that the Sphinx could not reach. It's on a little table with a couple of incense burners by it, and the cabinet itself is closed.
I go and see if I can identify anything about the book, despite the damage.
Alrighty.
Investigation, perception roll, what you feeling?
Yeah, give me a investigation roll, please.
Alright, wits plus investigation.
And I assist.
If you wish.
If so, can we do that the reverse way? I assist you. I think you're going to do better than I will.
Okay. Yeah.
Alright, so here's dice rolled at you. Enjoy your tubed ice.
Okay.
I'll assist it.
Alrighty.
Dang.
All right, looks like you've got 6 bonus dice for this roll.
Okay. Let me double check my
Kenzie, doing
numbers.
better than me with less dice.
8. Okay. Drum roll, please. Da-da. I'm gonna.
Hey, two successes is a success.
Yeah.
I love the dynamics of the 4 successes on a pool of 5, followed by 2 successes on a pool of 14.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing about dice, isn't it?
Each one only cares about itself.
The title of the book, when you look through the remains, is hard to make out from all the mud and stuff on it, but you can just barely do it. It's called A Conscientious Objector's Road to Canada. Looking through what pages remain, it appears to be a biographical book about a young man in the mid 70s. Fleeing the draft from the Vietnam War. Reading towards the end of it, you notice that it mentions that before heading off to Canada, the young man and his friends decided to make a stop by Las Vegas for one last hurrah. The rest of the ending seems to be missing.
Huh.
Why does this sound familiar?
Couldn't tell you.
Can I roll kenning on it?
Definitely, if you feel like it. I mean, technically I should, but you can go ahead and do it if you wish. It's probably better because that's for you. It's probably more interesting for you. Give me a sec.
That's just your straight clarity.
Yeah, he's right. I just looked it up.
What was the name of the title again?
A conscientious
Objector's Guide.
Road to Canada.
Okay, okay.
A success is a success. So, you can smell the glamour on this book. It was someone's icon. The magic definitely smells old and stale. Whatever was left of the person's soul was long gone before the book was torn to pieces.
Okay.
So I believe you mentioned a second thing in here, a closed wardrobe. Am I misremembering?
A small cabinet on a table that is otherwise closed, yes.
Well, I've never been... actually, no. Would one of our 2 dynamos care to just open a clearly dangerous-looking object without thinking about it?
Abso-freaking-lutely.
Yeah.
So, which of you is doing it?
Since you're talking about refreshing your willpower, perhaps the person who just spent several points?
Oh yeah, go for it, Tibbs.
All right.
All right.
Good.
Dynamo's your thread, right?
Needle.
Needle?
Yeah.
Right.
I have 2 threads right now, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, friends and family.
Alrighty, so take yourself a point of willpower. So, Kit carefully opens the cabinet. Inside, there is a few things that catch your eye. The first is what looks like a crude carving on a rock that's vaguely in the shape of a tree with a set of praying hands in front of it. There's also a couple of sheets of parchment that look like they had been left behind in a bit of a hurry. And a few very old-looking photographs. They've got to be, you'd guess, somewhere between 15 and 20 years old. You can see that they depict a changeling with tree branches coming out of their head. You definitely feel like you've seen this person before, perhaps in dreams.
Okay.
Can I have that photo, please?
Yeah. Yeah, I see the photo.
All right. And on the pieces of parchment, whoever wrote these had some very bad handwriting. One of them simply appears to be some basic accounting, but the other one is actually somewhat more interesting. It was torn in half, so it looks like it had been ripped accidentally. But the part that you have mentions some pretty interesting information. When our Lord comes into his kingdom, we will finally be able to reveal ourselves and receive our just reward. We are assured from his servants that our reward awaits us on the other side.
Fun.
When you get time, can you send me that text?
All
Thank you.
right. I think we've bothered this lovely creature enough. And I don't think there was anything else in here that wasn't theirs.
Nothing else seems to be of interest beyond shattered furniture and some bones.
And Kenzie's kenning didn't pick up anything else of interest?
Not really. This mostly appears to be the lair of a carnivorous hobgoblin.
Then let's be on our way before the carnivorous hobgoblin decides to reconsider their philosophy.
I leave a bag of cat hair that I've collected from brushing the cats for its nest.
Right on your way out, the Sphinx nods at you and says, "Well, I hope you got your fill of gawking at my nest."
We have. It's a wonderful place. You seem to have it well in hand.
The Sphinx sticks out her chest in pride. "Yeah, I'm real lucky. There was a bunch of these little guys living in here doing, I have no idea, but I tried to oust them a couple times, but they put up a fight, and then they just left last week. It was great. And now I have the perfect place near a crossroads to live. It's great hunting grounds."
I left you a bag of cat fur to puff up your nest if you want it.
Well, thanks. I appreciate it.
A housewarming gift, if you will.
Well, I'm touched.
I believe we had
I
a. Sorry.
maybe I won't try to eat you next time you're around here. No promises.
Anyways, I believe we had a previous engagement. Thank you very much for your time. And I guess we head out towards that other cave that we needed to visit today.
All right, so you guys are trying to break into that workshop that was taken over by that small cult.
The small cult that apparently was living in this cave and now moved to the building above this other cave that we are heading to because I figured out that it was a back way into their cult. So, by the way, everybody's got their weapons on them, yes? Because I have
Yep.
no idea if these guys are inside, and if they are, we are almost certainly going to have to do a violence.
Yes, and when we
Yeah.
get close, I cloak of night us.
And when I see that we're going into a cave, I'm switching up. I switch over to the shotgun rather than the sniper rifle.
All right, I was the one who explored this cave, so I lead everyone to the secret entrance into the building.
So the cave that the gnomes had pointed you to isn't really much of a cave. It's a small area that appears to have mostly been used as basement storage. The cave itself probably isn't too much bigger than, say, a studio apartment. There is a ladder that leads upwards to a trapdoor. You assume that this must be the secret entrance into the gnome's workshop that you had heard about before the workshop had been taken over by the cult.
After you, I suppose. I try the door.
I would like it mentioned that I am deliberately spying.
Spine?
Yes,
On what or who?
whomever we find.
Well, want to make a stealth roll to see if we can get in here without drawing any attention?
Yes, but enemies suffer a penalty equal to my character's mantle dots in winter to notice when I'm deliberately spying.
Okay. I was wondering what the heck you were talking about.
Trying to figure out what's going on in here before we consider going in.
All right, and what is
Yep.
your winter mantle?
5.
Alrighty. The trapdoor doesn't appear to be locked, but there does appear to be something relatively heavy on top of it. You can partially open it, but without some small amount of force, you're not going to be able to open it enough to actually fit all the way through.
Can I hear or see anything?
You can definitely open it enough to stick your head through and look.
Perception roll, I guess?
Yeah, let's make this a since you're still wanting to hide. Let's make this a wits plus stealth roll.
Let's see, can I help with that in any way, shape, or form?
Yeah, I don't think I can. I have the wits for this, but not the stealth.
That's okay, I've got willpower.
Just a second. God bless being of spring. 4 dice.
Alrighty.
One success.
Well, a success is a success. And let's make that roll to see if they notice you. And that's minus how much you said was your mantle? For mental
5.
mantle? All right, then 1 die it is. That's a success, but you did also roll a success. So I'm going to put this in player's favor here and say they didn't see you. Because I don't want to do a roll off right now. So, sticking your head through, you notice that you are looking into a small cabin. This cabin has been outfitted with a handful of small cabin has been outfitted with a handful of what look like very crudely fashioned tapestries showing that same tree and praying hand symbol. There is a fire in the middle around which you can built into a little fire pit around which you can see 5 hobgoblins dancing while one of them appears to be leading some sort of service. He has in his hands a large chunk of wood, which he's waving about here and there as the hobgoblins dance around the fire.
Okay, question. Are we trying to be clever, or are we willing to go loud?
Let's start. We can't unring a bell.
I know, which is why I'm asking these questions now.
Yeah. So let's start quiet.
Absolutely. So here's where I'm at. Obviously, we could probably get into better positions if we could find a way to remove this heavy object without making too much noise. I don't know how to do that, but I'm sure we could find a way. The question is that once we've done this, these guys are all dancing around a fire except the one guy I care about, who's further back. And I am in possession of high-proof spirits in glass bottles.
That's funny. I like that.
Which I think would be deeply humorous and give you a perfect opportunity to, I don't know, lay down some small arms fire on whoever happens to be around. But I don't know. How are you guys feeling like dealing with this situation?
I would like to see if I can take a look and get a better picture of what they're doing and why. Would it be possible to do a wits plus occult roll?
Yeah, sure, if you want to.
And while he's working on that, I would like to reach my cell phone out through the small gap and take a silent photo of whatever is on top of it, so we can at least figure that out.
Alrighty.
I'm going to go ahead and re-roll that.
If you want, or you can also take a beat and make that a dramatic failure.
Not this time. There we go.
Alrighty. Kit climbs up the ladder beside Lexi, besides Kinsey, and puts his head through to take a look around and sees what's going on. As an autumn courtier, you can definitely recognize a religious ritual when you see one. It's quite clear that they're chanting nonsense. So there doesn't appear to be actual meaning to what they're saying. But it also seems like they're attempting to invoke something.
Is it reminiscent to any religions that I'm familiar with?
Not especially. This looks to be incredibly crude. These hobgoblins don't appear to be very intelligent.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
I get myself an image of whatever is on top of our trapdoor here.
It's a bookshelf. It's newly made and laid in with books.
There is no way we can move that without making a shitload of noise. Unless you want to shoot from here, on top of a ladder, through a crack barely big enough to look out of. You're muted.
I'm seeing if I can come up with something.
Kenzie, do you want to just go out there? Because you're the only one who can leave here.
You do have that shadow form.
I do.
You could just roll out of here there through the opening we have if you want to go investigate further. But I think the other two of us are stuck. Unless you picked up Chrysalis sometime recently, Kit, and I don't think you mentioned that one.
Okay, so I will slip through the cracks.
Alrighty. Do you need to make a roll for that contract or anything?
I don't think it's a contract. I think it's just their.
Yeah, it's like their Kith blessing or something.
Oh, the Darkling Kith blessing.
Yeah.
All right, and you're definitely in a dark area, so that would be something you could invoke. Yeah. So Kenzie assumes the form of darkness and slips through into the cabin on the other side. Did you want to do more spying now that you're here?
Yes. Is there anything else that I can see now that I can see more of the room?
All right, give me a Wits plus investigation roll, please.
I'm gonna willpower.
Okay, you can do that, or you can take a beat and go for a dramatic failure.
I think you have the answer.
Okay, well, that's an exceptional success. Okay, from this area, you can see more of the cabin. There are multiple such bookshelves, such as the one that was on the trap door, all the way around, and they're all covered in books. You can tell pretty much immediately that they're all icons. This reminds you a lot of the hollow that you had been in a few weeks prior with the crashed dream. There are a number of pedestals, all of which are empty. You get the idea from the tree and praying hands symbol carved on them that they're likely for holding what they consider to be a holy relic of some sort. After a few more minutes, the celebrants seem to finish their ritual, and they sit in a circle around the fire beside the hobgoblin, clutching the splintered piece of wood. One of them speaks up and says, "Please tell us again, sir. You were told that our Lord will be coming into his kingdom soon?" "Yes, his servant, the one with one eye, told me personally," says the leader of the small cult. As I understand it, he will be inheriting his kingdom from his father. One of the other celebrants leans forward and says, "Inheriting or inheriting?" using finger quotes. The one with one eye did not say, but I would assume that this would be, that it would not matter. The Lord of Tales has served in these lands for long, and the one-eyed one says that he grows weary. So our Lord will definitely come into his kingdom soon. And when we arrive, bringing these, at which point he holds up these piece of wood, I'm sure he will be absolutely thrilled. One of the other hobgoblins says, "And what's so good about that chunk of wood anyway?" That the leader hisses through his teeth and says, "Don't blaspheme. Our Lord would hate that. These divine relics are chunks he carved off himself. If we can bring them to him, we can help make him whole again. Surely he will appreciate it, and he will reward us. We must keep gathering these."
All right, folks. So what are we feeling?
Let's burn the place down.
Quick thing. Tibbs, was it you or me that had the... Oh, wait. Never mind. You can't Ken. You've spent too much willpower. I'm gonna Ken real quick. So, sorry, Kenny. I'm Kenning. That'll be 5 dice. Rolling. 3 successes.
Peering up the trapdoor yourself, Elliot sees the chunk of wood being waved around in the air again, and it can immediately sense the presence of rattlebones within it. It appears to be one of his icons.
And none of the other icons in this room are active?
No, they're old books. God knows how old they are.
I figured, but it's always worth checking. One of these days we're gonna find somebody who's like 100 years old who's left their shit here.
Hey, Kit, can I have you take aim through that little bitty hole?
I mean, I can.
If you can see, you can aim, can't you?
It's more of a kickback problem.
I can brace you.
Oh, how far up am I on this ladder?
About 4 feet. No, actually, 7 feet. Sorry, this is a basement. 4 feet would mean you'd be like crouching.
Yeah. Okay. So, and you said we're going loud. So I have some of those seeds that create platforms that I was given a while back.
The magic beans?
Yeah.
What exactly are you doing with a beanstalk in this room?
busting through the floor, causing chaos.
Question: is there cave under where they're operating?
To a degree, I mean, this is, like as I was mentioning, more or less a basement.
So if I were to know where the fire was and walk over to a area in the basement directly underneath it, I could do that.
Yes.
Could I borrow a beanstalk real quick?
Do you
Yeah.
trust me?
I trust you more than life itself.
Heaven or hell, let's rock.
I borrow a bean and wait for these guys to give me the signal, or for loud noises to happen.
All right, and let me know. So if this goes into combat, I'm going to need you to roll
Initiative?
initiative, but not until it actually goes into combat.
Okay, so...
Question, Kenny, what were they calling him again? Oliver Oakert?
They were just calling him their lord.
Thank you.
Alright, so... Kenzie, are you acting first, or am I acting first?
I need the tendril to burst through before I can do mine.
Alright, then, I put some water on some magic beans. Directly underneath where the fire is.
Alrighty. How many?
I forget what the mechanics of that being.
All right, let me read them out to you. This is a goblin fruit that I actually wrote up myself. So this small bean-like goblin fruit looks much like a common pinto bean, but is several times the size and has a faint, slow throb to it. They are edible like other goblin fruits, but have an interesting property. When planted either in the mortal world, Hedge, or Arcadia, they will rapidly grow into a large beanstalk. One bean will grow into a stalk up to 10 meters high at a rate of 1 meter per turn. When several are planted together, the stalks grow around and reinforce each other, extending the possible height before the stalks collapse. Planted together, the maximum height of the collective stalks is equal to 10 meters times the number of beans planted, up to 100 meters, as the stalks coil around each other like vines. Fey gardeners should take care, as these stalks will grow through and around anything in their way, though this property can also be helpful. When grown in the mortal world, they only last for 1 hour before crumbling into dust. But when grown in the hedge, the beanstalks are sustained by the glamour in the soil and will last for months or even years with proper care.
I don't think I need more than one. So, yeah, I apply water to bean.
Okay. So it'll take 3 turns to grow through the floor. This will be floor 1 as the beans start sprouting and rapidly growing.
Would you like to take the aim action while we're prepping?
Yeah. So,
Okay. So let's go ahead and roll initiative here,
Yep.
just for the sake of making this quicker, since we're doing this now. Since we're doing that now.
Alright, that's 1 die plus your initiative bonus, everyone.
so since we are coming up out of the caves or the basement, I'm going to be using my sniper rifle for this first shot, and then dropping it and moving over to the shotgun. Well, not actually dropping, but
You get me.
yeah. All right.
All right. So can we go around this, please? So Elliot's got
10.
10. Kenzie got 8.
8.
And I got 16.
Kit got 16. And the cultists got 17. So they'll go first in the action order. But of course, you guys are going for a surprise round. So anything else that you want to do, or turn 2?
I'm going to move over to the bottom of the ladder so I can follow people up when we move into action. I don't have to sit
Kenzie?
here staring at the thing.
I slip back through onto the ladder next to Tibbs. Still close enough to speak through the hole.
Turn 2, the stalk grows even higher. Just want to skip to turn 3, or do you have any other final prep to make?
I'm continuing to aim, and specifically going after the leader.
All right.
Kenzie, in a low voice, throwing her voice across the room, says, "Hear me."
All right. The cultists immediately look up in surprise. Turn 3. The beanstalk grows through the floor of the workshop and directly into the fire that the cultists have in their pit. The cultists jump back in shock as they see the flaming greenery. Give me a chance die, Elliot.
You got it. That's a 3.
They burst into panic.
Can I speak?
If you want.
Cease.
Give me a manipulation plus intimidation check, please. Plus 3 circumstantial bonus.
Fucking love you, Kenzie.
4 successes.
Damn. So close.
The cultists stopped panicking. They were running around getting what they could to put out the fire. But at this point, the leader holds up the chunk of wood and says, "Hark! Our Lord speaks from the flames."
Give unto the flames my icon. Return my flesh unto my flesh.
We need that.
Wait, what? Why do we need that?
That's the thing we're here for.
Oh, I don't say that. I did not say that.
You, in character, knew that was what we were here for. That is,
Yes.
That is the thing I need to go get the more bits of Mimsatch. So, may I have a suggestion?
Yes,
These guys
please.
are searching for the same shit I am. Why don't you get them to tell you all about the work they're doing and get us every lead they have before we start shooting them?
Tell me of your travails.
Yes, Lord. Of course, Lord. We have several other groups of siblings in your light, also looking for the pieces of you. We have, we've found at least 3 others so far.
Excellent. When will they be delivered?
We were to bring them to the one-eyed one told us that we were to bring them to you upon your ascent to the mantle of true fae.
Excellent.
Did we do good, Lord?
Continue searching. Find them all.
Yes, Lord, of course.
Elliot, what else should I be saying here?
No, at this point, Tibbs, would you mind taking your first shot?
Yeah. Can you, Kinsey? Can you add something about their loyalty and service being properly rewarded?
Such loyalty will not be forgotten. Your just rewards shall be delivered.
And I shoot.
All right, which one do you want to shoot and make your roll for your surprise attack?
So I'm going after the leader.
Alrighty. What's the damage rating on your rifle?
5.
Love that fucking gun, everyone.
It's only good at a few things, but what he's good at, he's very good at.
All right, the cult leader's head explodes into a shower of bloody chunks.
All right, let's secure the building, because we're about to get 3 deliveries of these very important parts right to this doorstep, so I want to make sure it's mine.
The remaining cultists jump back in shock, mixture of shock, fear, and religious ecstasy. Okay, that was the action order. Kit and has went in Kenzie. Let's see. I'm going to say that since it's a surprise since it's a surprise round, the cultists have lost their action. Kit has already made his. Elliot, you're next.
I'm at the bottom of a ladder. I can't see anyone. I don't know what to do here. I steady it so Kit doesn't fall off the ladder with the kick of a fucking sniper rifle so we can get out of here.
Fair enough. Kenzie?
I think I have enough mass to do that.
When we were looking around, was there a front door?
Yeah. It's on the other side of the fire pit behind where the leader had been holding his little court.
We can't let them leave. None of these guys can leave. Sorry.
I flit down the ladder and head over, still under cloak of night, to the front door.
Right, what's your speed rating?
12.
Considering the size of this little cavern that's being used as a basement, I'm going to say that's enough to get you over to the front door. Okay. So, top of the action order. The remaining cultists' turn. 2 of them appear to be frozen in shock. Excuse me. 1 of them appears to be frozen in shock. 1 of them goes to check the cult leader's body. 2 of the others immediately fall down in noisy crying worship. Please, Lord, thank you. Thank you very much. Don't hurt us. And 1 of them runs for the front door.
All right.
Kinsey's under cloak of night, right?
Yes.
All right, so he doesn't see you as he opens the door and makes a break for it. All right, Kit, it is your turn.
All right. Elliot, are you able to go around to the front door?
I'm able to do whatever you need me to do.
I kind of
keep shooting from here.
I kind of want to just camp here and shoot anybody that tries to touch the leader's body.
That's absolutely fucking hilarious. I love it. Yeah. Can I make a? Wait, It's your turn. Never mind. Do your thing.
I don't know. Is there an equivalent to like held action or
I
something?
mean, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, if you want to hold an action, you can do that. But as I understand it in Chronicles of Darkness, that will shift your place in the action order permanently.
That's fine.
Also, there was someone that was actually leaning down to look at the leader's body, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
there already was one of those. So why don't you just shoot that guy?
Yeah, I'll do that. So,
After all this will place you in the turn after they go again.
8 damage.
All right. The round hits the hobgoblin in the chest and sends him flying. He hits the back wall, breathing hard. Elliot?
I'm gonna go run for the entrance. And since I don't think I'm going to be able to do much once I get there, on the way I pop a piece of glass into my mouth, crunching noisily and activating Primal Glory.
All right, on your way around to the front door, you run into the cultist who made a break for it.
Excellent. I throw a lance bead at his face once he comes into view.
All
That's
right.
Dex plus athletics.
Mm-hmm. And is there a damage rating on those? Let me look it up.
I have it written down somewhere. Just a second. Lance beats are a damage of 2.
Oh, okay.
Anyways, so that's going to be a pool of 6, and hopefully this works. Well, 3 damage is 3 damage, and I'm sure he wasn't fucking expecting it.
All right.
Oh, wait, sorry, I forgot it adds 3 dice to the attack roll, so rolling those real quick before anything happens. An additional dice, and thus an additional damage.
All right, the lance beat hits him in the leg, drawing blood. All right, Kenzie?
Would you say that running away from the place that you're worshiping because your god appeared would be considered an act of betrayal?
Makes sense to me.
Excellent, because it makes sense to me to use Oliver Oakenheart's sword to bring this guy down. And it just activated for free.
All righty.
What do I hit with?
Weapon.
Dexterity. Is that weaponry?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So the silver blade lights up as it's activated. So it's a damage rating of 3.
So that's 4 damage.
All right. And this is on the same guy. All right, so the sword comes down, burning as it goes. The hobgoblin is clearly injured, but still alive as he falls down to the ground. All right. So, top of the action order. The cultist who was shot crawls his way up to his feet and begins looking around the room to see if he can find the source of the shot. 2 successes. Kenzie, Kit can see the hobgoblin making his way over to the trap door. He points and says, "Wait, this is open." Two of the other cultists head over to the trap door and begin noticing that it's open and seeing the barrel of the rifle through it. They begin trying to move the bookcase.
So what I'm hearing is there is a set of goblin feet gathered around this area in incredibly tight quarters, but unable to do much else. I'm not going to tell you what to do with your life, Kit.
Do I go with the rule of cool here, or do I do the practical thing?
Together, they tip the bookcase over to its side. Okay. That covers those as those three hobgoblins work at it, one of the other hobgoblins decides that perhaps the outside would be safer and also makes a break for it. The one who was outside and had been accosted with the sword stands up and looks around. The only person he can see is Elliot.
Hi there.
So in that case, he's going to run for Elliot with his duke split up.
Excellent. Love to hear it. He's going against a defense of 4.
Ready? Bear with me here. So he's able to deal 1 bashing damage.
Which
You
is
have
negated
your-
by my armor.
which is negated by your armor. And you have your contract up with the glass.
Indeed.
Final
so enjoy
glory.
your whatchamacallit, 1 lethal damage.
As the blow lands against the armor, the shards of glass spring upwards from it and eviscerate the cultist, who falls down dead.
Defiance of punishment is sin itself.
All right, Kit.
So, I have a question about Fey Mountains.
Yeah.
It says that I can call for it. Is that like just it comes to me, or like right away, or does it have to actually like travel the distance?
Didn't you say
Let's
you got
see.
dream spun?
I do.
Because I think that one just forms out of the aether, is what that one said. Let me pull
Dream
that up.
Spun says that it returns the life when it does.
Yeah, I didn't see any text regarding it just manifesting. So that's why I was asking.
Did it have many league?
It does.
Then I'm going to say that it can get there within the round if you call for it.
Please, please, for the love of God.
Okay. Because what I wanted to do was summon the mount to me and come bursting up through the trap door, brandishing the shotgun and firing it off in one of their faces as I'm moving past them. Nice and dramatic, like.
Well, it is your Fey mount, so I'm going to assume that it's been with you. So if you want to do that, sure, go ahead. It is a bird, right?
Yes.
There's no reason why we wouldn't have had it, especially since we were hauling stuff to market.
Yeah. So, and
All right.
I believe the shotguns get 9 again.
All right, and since you're mounted, you get the Fey Mounts dot rating as a bonus to your initiative. What is its dot rating?
I believe I should be at 3.
All right. Then next round at the top of the action order, you'll go first. Okay.
Hilarious.
But for now, you go now.
2 plus shotgun is 3. So that's going to be 5.
All right. Do you want to go for the one you already injured or one of the uninjured ones?
Let's go with the one that I've already injured.
All right. The injured hobgoblin is essentially blown apart by the force of the shot. All right. The hobgoblin who had run outside second opens the door just in time to see what happened to the first. This one decides better of fighting back and simply attempts to make a break for it at full speed.
Sinner!
Alrighty. He'll still need to pass you by, so we'll deal with that on Elliot's turn or Kenzie's turn. So that being said, the 2 remaining cultists who just observed the Kit and the bird burst from the basement, attempt to throw books at Kit.
Can me and Lex get our turn before they get to go again?
We haven't gone through all 4 of them.
Oh, because I thought it was. I thought they had helped move the box off of the top of.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. They shouldn't get to attack this round. Okay, Elliot, your turn.
All right. Well, I've got a target, and I've got another lance beat. I don't know what to do here. 3 successes plus 2 damage is 5 damage. I set you up.
All right. The lance beat sinks into the flesh of the hobgoblin's calf, and he goes down on one knee. Kenzie?
I'm going to be slashing at this one as well.
All right, make your roll.
Four successes plus 3L.
All right. A slash across the chest takes care of this cultist. He is dead. The only 2 remaining are the ones in the cabin with Kit, who it is now top of the action order. And with the initiative boost from being mounted, Kit goes first.
Okay. I am so sorry. Give me just a second. I just had another funny idea.
I'm going to be back in a moment.
Okay.
Since we have a moment, I'm going to take a similar breather.
Okay. What do I have again? There we go. What's my dice? No, that's not good. So what I was thinking was that I could use my Autumn Court Mantle bonus to intimidate them into surrendering. But unfortunately, even with that, I don't have a good dice pool, so I'm just gonna stick to what I've been doing. What do you think?
This is really funny as it is. Honestly, I didn't think that terrorizing a group of hobgoblins was on our radar tonight, but this has been.
Yeah, I didn't think it was going to go this way. I thought this was just going to be a straight up recon moment. Recon. So, I see what he's going after, wanting to do the take this place over and then reset it back up so we can just intercept the icons. Don't have to go hunting for them.
Yeah, definitely.
Clever.
Hi, guys.
Hi, welcome back.
So, I think we've got the door covered. We're gonna have to run over broken glass to get out of here. You want to go inside and help with the fight when it's our turn again?
I think so, just in case one of them tries to go through the trapdoor.
So, hate to ask for money when you've just had a turn up in business here, Kit, but could I ask you to rent a couple of tough looking dudes to be here and bash in the skull of anyone who happens to come back in and put whatever's in their pockets in a box?
Well, the whole reason why I've been working so hard at this is so that we can have the resources needed to take care of what we need to.
Because I don't feel like camping out here every day, and I figure those guys are coming back.
Yeah.
They got no reason to believe this isn't going to be their operating grounds. If nothing else, it'll give us a clue to where the rest of it is.
Yeah.
So, having fun rising up from... Hello!
I thought of that, and honestly, I thought it would make for a very dramatic entrance.
The best sort of entrance. Hello, everyone. This is Kruger. Kruger. This is the entire internet. This is
All
where
hail
cats live.
Kruger.
All hail Kruger.
Oh, hell, Kruger.
Kruger is the second of our orange boys, the younger, and is apparently getting very annoyed with me holding him.
So yeah, Jeff. For a little bit there, I was thinking about using intimidate to get them to surrender, but the mantle bonus that I get is I'm still only going to be at like a dice pool of like 2, so it's not really worth doing.
I think at this point the best thing to do is just wrap this up, clean up the bodies as best we can, and prep for the receipt of our new guests.
Yeah.
Hey, Kenny.
Alrighty, I am back. So we were at the top of the action order.
Yes.
All right, Kit, it is your turn.
Okay. So right now I am super quick. So I would like to see if I can basically. So I flew up, out, on my way, shotgunned one guy, and then kind of landed across the room. What I'd like to do is see if I can if I can come back and land kind of blocking one of the goblins from the trapdoor while taking a shot at the other.
Alrighty. So stand in front of, on top of, etc. the trapdoor.
Basically, yeah. And then shoot one of the remaining goblins.
Alrighty. I don't think you need to roll or anything for the movement action, so you're just going to be dismounting, correct?
Oh no, I'm gonna be remaining on the mount.
So the mount are just going to land. All right, that's going to be even easier. So take your shot then.
4, and I believe the shotgun was 3, so 7.
All right. It blows off one of the legs of the remaining cultists. That one falls to the ground. Let's see. Leg crack tilts. You know what? Beaten down. He's had the fight beaten out of him. This guy doesn't care to retaliate. He's simply crying for mercy.
I mean, fair.
The other one, though, picks up some books and starts tossing.
Yeah.
What's your defense?
5. With 2 4 armor.
All right, he misses.
Would you like to take it an exceptional failure for a beat?
All right, Elliot, it is your turn.
Did we kill that dude, the next one that came out? Or is he still here? Because I think we killed the second guy, in which case I'm going to open the door for Kenzie. Give them a nice straight shot, as it were.
Yeah, Kenzie got rid of the first one. I mean, the second one. All right, so you're just going to open the door?
And, I don't know, pick up the corpses to start hauling them in. I want to leave no evidence behind here.
All righty, Kenzie, your turn.
I head on inside and take a stab at the one closest to me.
All right, so the one that's remaining. All right.
2 successes.
5 damage, I believe.
5 damage. So that one is stabbed in the gut and stumbles back in pain. Top of the action order. Kit, your turn.
Take us home, buddy.
Yeah. The one that is still putting up a fight.
All right.
And go. 2, 5, and that's going to be another 5.
All right, and that one is blown to bits. The only one remaining is the one on the floor in a spreading pool of its own blood, crying for mercy.
Kenzie.
End of combat.
Kenzie, would you like to give it mercy?
There's only one kind of mercy I know. Can I kill him, guys?
I absolutely need you to. I can't have anybody alive here.
Okay. Yep, I will.
Coup de grace?
All right, and coup de grace. The small cult here has been wiped out.
So, Kit.
Yeah.
You heard, like I did, that they're gonna be having some friends coming back here with more of these. I waved the piece of Oliver Oakhart, which happened to make its way into my possession after I hauled the corpses inside.
Right.
I need these. And I could go track them all down, but they're going to be coming here.
Yeah.
And unless we're very, very unlucky, nobody knows all these people are dead.
Right.
Do you think you might be able to hire a couple of guys to live here for a little bit and bash in the skull of anyone who decides to walk inside?
Yeah.
Or should I just camp out here for the next couple of days and see what happens? I'm just not much of a fighter, you know?
Yeah. I'll see if I can get some people or some gentlemen to post up here for a bit.
That sounds like a great idea. Anyways, I'm gonna... I don't know how to put this politely, but we have a cave downstairs and I'm just gonna go bury some bodies. I don't think this is interesting enough to spend camera time on. Do you want to roll, or can I just go bury some hedge body things? I don't know what the etiquette here is.
Yeah, there's no particular need to make a roll here.
About 30 minutes later, I'm not the strongest gentleman in the world. I come back up covered in the hedge equivalent of dirt and setting aside a shovel made from whatever happened to be around. Well, that's taken care of. I believe we had a meeting to attend to, if we still have time. I know it's getting late.
Right?
Well, Kenny, what? How are you feeling regarding time frame?
We've got 30 minutes left.
You think that's going to be enough to do one more stop?
I believe so.
Well, let's make our way back to the apartment then.
Yeah. And so stop off at the burrow, get washed up, and put on my nice clothes, and head over to the apartment.
Much the same, changing out of my armor and into my charming attire, because I don't think it's going to fit over full riot gear. And if this is going to be a fight, well, it's going to be a fight.
So you're going to Elliot's condo for this?
Yep.
And I suppose you're going to get the mortals that live there out of the way.
I'm going to hand over Mr. Franklin and tell him that Mr. Franklin needs a night out on the town and they should go find something to do with him.
All right, so that gets Jeremy and his niece out of the condo easily.
Money solves a lot of problems, kids.
Yeah.
So you've got the condo to yourself and you're dressed to the nines. What about what are you guys going to do?
I'm going to take a nice picture of my best friend and his snazzy new duds. And then tear up the photo. Activating portents and visions. I love this fucking camera. I love this camera so much. For those of you playing at home, I picked up a Polaroid a little while back, and the loophole for using portents and visions is tearing up a picture of the target. If I've got them on hand, it's a nice, easy way to do so. So, I am going to roll manipulation plus occult plus word versus your composure plus word. So please roll that for me.
I am choosing not to resist.
All right. I still need to succeed, though. Okay. So... Come on, one success. 3 successes. That sounds like a number.
Yep. So what does that do for me?
We are about to get a vision of the relevant to the changeling's current interests of the next big event, promise, or deal coming up for the target. And after this, we're going inside the mirror, whatever happens. Right? That's what we're doing next?
Yeah.
Isn't that what we're doing, Kenzie?
Yes.
All right. So Elliot has a brief vision of Kit being surrounded by dozens of duplicates of himself, cutting Kit off from access to the mirror portal out.
All right. Kit, I have just informed you of what I have seen. What this means is you are given the informed condition on this scenario. Are you familiar with the informed condition?
I should be, but I am blanking out on it right now.
Well, give me 4 seconds and I'll read the text to you and all of our players at home.
If you don't mind.
So that's on page 342 if you want to check up right now. And I'm totally not desperately paging through the book as we're sitting here. All right, so informed. When you make a roll relating to the topic, you may choose to resolve this condition. If you resolve it and the roll fails, consider it to have a single success. If it succeeds, consider it an exceptional success. At which point you are no longer informed.
Alrighty. So, knowing what I know now about the way things are about to go, I am going to get it clear. The old meaning of clear. I'm going to get a ball of yarn and when I go into the mirror, just beforehand, I'm going to tie it to something on this side.
How interesting. Do you want us to follow you inside?
Can we have one person stay behind at least to do some pulling back if necessary?
Kenzie, what's your thought?
I think we should have one person stay.
I'm not going to be able to do much of pulling, so if someone's staying, it's probably going to be you.
I can stay.
Or did you want to be a part of this?
I can stay. I think it's important to have one person out here.
Okay.
Alrighty. So in that case, Elliot and Kit were going into the mirror realm.
Yep.
All right. Mirror walk then, correct?
Yes, sir. Look up to the details. It's been a little bit since I used that.
For some reason. So, those of you playing at home who's been away for a while, last time we used Mirror Walk, we threw a hand grenade into the mirror realm.
It wasn't a hand grenade. It was
an IED.
Yeah. It was a pipe bomb.
Anyways, an explosive got thrown to the mirror realm, and for some reason that pissed off the people who live here. I can't imagine why. So we're hoping to sort that out today.
Alrighty. As Kit approaches the mirror, he notices his reflection scowling back at him.
I apologize. And I look my reflection in the eye, and I just say, I'm here to make amends. I'm here to fix this.
The reflection raises an eyebrow, but otherwise doesn't appear to move.
Well, shall we walk in?
Yeah. I step through.
I follow.
Alrighty. Where normally this would be a very short jaunt through the mirror realm, you are blocked when you step through and are unable to immediately step out the other side as per normal. You find yourself in a room very much like the room you just left. However, everything appears to be reflected left to right. Text is backwards, etc. There are several mirror people. One who was standing directly in front of Kit, his own reflection, scowling back at him with an eyebrow raised. Just out of sight of the mirror, there were easily a dozen, possibly more. Currently, they all had taken Kit's form, but as Elliot steps through, a handful shift over to his form instead. The one who is scowling at Kit crosses his arms. Make amends, it hisses.
Best I can.
Do you know what you did?
The only thing I could. It was a desperate move.
Your reflection steps up to you, Kit, and prods you directly in the chest. To be of the mirror folk is to know the pain of non-existence. We exist only when we are observed. This realm around you has no form if one is looking at it. This is why we let changelings like you in, because we get to be observed briefly as you pass by.
Yep.
When you threw a bomb through, several of us were taking corporeal form, something we do not normally get to do, in time to explode. Do you know what it feels like to explode?
Unfortunately, I do not. It is something that I don't think that I could even begin to grasp the amount of pain, both physically and emotionally, that I caused.
The mirror folk watching begin to scowl as well. Sorry, go on.
The only thing that I can do is offer additional places that you guys can have to manifest. I've been speaking with my friend here, and we want to get a series of installations down the Vegas Strip.
Large mirrors set against bus stops with things encouraging people to come look at them, photograph them, view them, stare inside them. Reflecting large parts of the Vegas Strip where people are wandering in the background. Countless of your people will be able to exist in them at all hours of day and night. Vegas is lit up like a Christmas tree at all times. There will almost be never a time where the mirror will be empty.
Give me a presence plus persuasion -3, please.
Hey, Tibbs. This is your circus, so I am assisting you.
Presence
Prepare for
plus
the
persuasion.
assistant's role of a fucking lifetime.
Okay. In
So-
addition, sorry, go ahead.
For those of you playing at home, I've got some bonuses here. So I'm starting off at an 8. And then I'm adding 3 because I'm wearing unclothes. And then I'm adding another 5 because of my mantle spring. This is a mundane teamwork action. So, 6 bonus dice for you there, Tibbs.
And remember your -3 penalty.
Yep, that's going to negate my clothing. So I'm at a dice pool of 5.
Alrighty, roll them bones.
Okay, and last bit of willpower that I have for this.
Wait, how do you have a dice pool of 5?
Clothing?
Yes.
It's a 3.
Yes.
Okay.
So do you have 1 dot in presence and no persuasion?
Yep.
So you should have a dice pool of 6 because I gave you 6 dice.
Yes, but it's also -1 from being untrained.
Yes, so you'd be at 0 plus 6.
Oh, okay.
So
And then -3 for the penalty, remember?
then plus
Yes,
3
but
from his clothes.
from the clothes.
So that's a wash.
1 success.
One of the mirror folk in standing around scowls and says, "No, that shouldn't be enough. Make him explode too. Make him feel it." But the mirror person that kid is talking to appears to be vaguely intrigued.
Imagine being able to manifest in front of mirrors on the Vegas Strip, hundreds of you guys at a time, and the person closest to the mirror is looking directly into your eyes and apologizing, saying, "I love you, I miss you." That is what my goal is with these installations. Each one will have a prompt on it asking the person looking into the mirror to apologize to the person in the mirror for all the abuse that they've sent their way, for all the anger and vitriol that they've shouted into the mirrors. Apologizing for all of it.
Every
Or-
bit of harm they've done to those beyond the glass.
I by myself may not be able to have the ability to fully make this right. But I do have the ability to give the people an opportunity to make the mundane wrongs at least a little bit nicer, a little bit better.
Your reflection appears to ponder this. He waves over a couple of the other mirror folk, sharing yours and Elliot's face, and they spend a few moments whispering together. After that, he comes back around and says, "Okay, we're willing to negotiate. This sounds like a good idea, but it's not quite enough. There's a lot of us here. We need more. But since you're willing to go to such lengths to make things right, surely you'll be willing to hear us out
Well, one thing does come to mind.
Well, what do you
So,
have in mind?
We have an idea.
all right.
One of the other mirror folk wearing Elliot's guise steps forward, smiling.
You look nice in that.
Why, thank you. What we were thinking is how nice it would be if we could exist for even longer than normal, outside of the view of a mirror. For that, we would need someone to observe us.
Okay.
We don't care who. Just push someone through the mirror and close it behind them.
I have a different idea. Something that would get you the same results without imprisoning someone.
Wait a second.
Go on.
I need to check something. I open up my smartphone and turn on whatever the equivalent of FaceTime is. And I call Kenzie.
Does it work?
Give me a chance, Doc.
I'm gonna see if cameras work in here, because if they do, I have some wild ideas. Oh, God, I love weird world metaphysics.
It's not.
Doesn't look like it.
Yeah, I'm going to say that the image doesn't go through. It is extraordinarily garbled.
Oh well.
You're on the right path, though. Kinsey was showing me a website called Twitch, and we were just talking about our art installations. Let's make it a performance piece. Stream these anonymous individuals apologizing to themselves, and we show the mirror. Broadcast those worldwide.
I'll encourage that behavior all around the world at countless little mirrors. This is the exact sort of thing that could go, what's the word, viral? I think that was the term.
Make another presence plus persuasion roll.
Mind if I swing this one directly, my dude?
It's up to Kenny.
It doesn't matter. Hello, this is Kazi. He is also a cat.
Alright, 2 successes, because apparently that's the pattern for tonight. Large dice pools, low successes.
The mirror folk start talking amongst themselves. Well, this would mean that we would be observed, we would exist, but only the area that they can see through the mirror. If we've got an observer here, the whole room can exist. That's a very good point. Do we just want to keep him here?
So, my question to you is, would you rather have one room completely manifested, or are you willing to give this a bit of time and have maybe hundreds partially manifested?
Big old city streets. You'd have far more area out there to be in. and lots more people looking inside, rather than just one room.
The first mirror person, the one who was originally reflecting, Kit steps forward. Fine. You've got a deal, but if this doesn't work out in the way that you say it will, then you're staying here.
I can promise you that we will set up the infrastructure for this to happen.
And you're going to see lots of people once all of this gets set up. It's going to be beautiful.
And we will encourage the installation of these installations elsewhere. But I will not be held responsible for things outside of my control. So
Fine, but
I'm willing to promise some installations on the strip.
fine. We will take it. But if it's not good enough, then we're coming for you, and either you or someone else is coming back with us.
We'll talk then.
Are you going to be? Will you be willing to discuss with me your grievances before taking those kinds of actions? Because I'm willing to
keep.
We are willing to continue negotiations until you are happy, not placated, happy with the work that we put in.
The mirror folk appear to be impressed with your tenacity. Your reflection rolls his eyes and says, "Fine. Fine. We accept."
So as soon as we have the exact details of where the installations are going to be, how many, all that, I'll be in communication with you. I want to keep you in the loop the entire process. Okay?
All right. And with that, I start making my way towards the exit.
All right, and I think now is a good place to end for the night. So let's go around our table and do our aspirations, everyone.
All right.
Okay. Let me pull those up. Okay.
Hey, Void has a question. What is it, Void?
What's going on, boss?
All right.
So,
Kenzie, what's your most important piece of gear right now? Maybe that sword, or
Probably the sword, yeah. Or my brass knuckles.
All right.
Alrighty, sword and or brass knuckles.
The sword is one they stole from Oliver Oakhart in the beginning, known as Rattlebones, and your brass knuckles shoot people, don't they?
They do.
So the sword is more narratively important, but the brass knuckles is definitely more consistently useful.
It's either that or the bag of catnip.
You know what? Valid.
So, with that, shall we go on to aspirations? Tibboleth. You got one, or
Okay.
shall I go?
All right. So I think I actually have a pretty solid spread here. So we got first aspiration, stop the rattling, and we got a piece of Rattlebone's in one of his icons, so that counts.
Yep.
In the downtimes, I got more information about my fetch, so step towards finding my fetch. A solution for the huntsman. I got more resources to work with, and have made progress on reopening one of my getaway tactics. So I think that should count. And lastly, feed the people. Well, I just fed 10 people. So I'd like to take a beat towards that.
Alrighty, awesome. Good work, Kit. Who's next?
And Void has suggested the name Yowl Scratch to Kenzie for their brass knuckles.
I love it.
Word. I can dig it.
So, my aspirations. Break up a cult. Well, we sure did that.
Fair enough.
The next was talk with the man in the mirror. Though we weren't able to ask them to change their ways, we were able to get them to stop beating up on Kit whenever he decides to visit. So that sounds good. Passed the exam for a bar. I looked into the kind of people we could go rob for the kind of money that I need for doing that. So, restore the rest of Mimsatch. I got another piece for him, which I'm gonna be trading in later, but did not have time for that on camera. And lastly, play Kingmaker. Well, we just got a really big, important piece of information about that. It's definitely shaped how we're planning on doing the intrigue. How do you feel about that one, Kenny?
That's fair enough to me, yeah.
All right. I think I took a step towards becoming a winter knight.
Yep.
I solved riddle.
Mm-hmm.
We interface, not entered face, with the carnivore worker.
Yeah.
I reported on Madam Anybody. And while I meant find a stray to be a kitten, we did find a stray piece of Oliver Oakart.
You know what? I'll allow that. Alrighty. So I believe that's everyone.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So then before we close out for the night, just another reminder about the new Kickstarter for They Came from the RPG anthology. Oh, and there is also a sale on Storyteller screens over at Indie Press Revolution. Here are the links if you're interested in either or. Thanks again for coming out tonight. We always appreciate anyone who's watching. See you again next week. Same bat time, same bat channel.
All right.